We have 3 kids. Connor was the oldest.
Connor as a brother was the best big brother you could ask for. He was loving, he was protective. So when we were younger, we used to ride quads a lot, go out on adventures. I would go everywhere with him, to his friend's house, to his girlfriend's house.
He was my first real boyfriend, I think people would say. He was always a positive thinker, a hard worker. Connor and all of his buddies would get together on Friday nights. They'd all get their chaps and their boots and the spurs together and pick out the bull that they wanted to ride for that night, jump on it, and out they would go into the ring. And
Connor was, he was bigger than life. Connor was all about loyalty, and the family that he chose meant a great deal to him.
He'd do anything for anybody, give you a shirt off his back.
Whenever he was younger, he was very into Batman. Every Halloween, he was Batman, and that just continued, so he had Batman tattoo, which all of us in the family now have one.
Connor was my hero, for sure. In 4th grade, I did a project on who my hero was, and it was Connor.
My life has changed so much since Connor's been gone. I no longer have the luxury of seeing his beautiful face every day or hearing his crazy, contagious laugh. It was a typical day like any other day. Connor was leaving to go to a party. A friend was coming to pick him up, and he left. But on our way home from Jordan's hockey banquet, we passed the most horrendous crash. And I think I knew in my heart that he was there.
She was very adamant the whole entire drive when we were waiting in traffic, and then by the time we passed the crash, she was like, something bad happened, something bad, I just know it. And I was like, Mom, relax.
I could see that there were 2 bodies. The vehicle was in 2 pieces, and it was upside down.
They were traveling in the center lane, then they had driven just straight into a light pole.
And my husband was in the process of calling the state police, and they said, Mr. Johnson, did your son have a Batman tattoo? And that was how he was identified.
so I called Connor's dad and Mr. J, and I just said, "Where's Connor? I haven't heard from him." I knew that he wasn't there anymore.
And then we had to tell Jordan and Marshall.
And she said, Jord, that crash that we had passed earlier in the day, that was Connor.
I heard like a loud cry, and then they like walked over to me and told me, your brother's not coming home.
Connor wasn't wearing his seatbelt, which led him to being ejected from the van.
I miss Connor the most at night. Whenever I was little, I would text him to see if he was coming home, and if he was, then like I could fall asleep, and if he wasn't, then I'd be up all night. I just didn't feel safe unless if I knew Connor was coming home.
Jordan's world came crushing down on her the day that Connor was killed.
Not only did I lose a big brother, but I genuinely felt like I lost a best friend.
I believe the driver was inexperienced, and she was also very inattentive. I also found out that she totaled a vehicle the month prior, something that I know Connor didn't know about because he really didn't know her. I also believe that the passengers could have spoken up, my son, number one, being included.
One simple decision to not pay attention to the road changed my life and many other people's forever.
I can't imagine doing that. I couldn't imagine being the driver and not only killing someone else's brother, but your own sister. I can't imagine the burden that would put on you.
Every time I'm home, I try to stop at the crash site and leave flowers. We keep a Sharpie on the light pole, so everyone that visits writes a note to him. My note to him that I rewrite each time I'm there, it said, "Missing you, Cons, love you, Batman."
There's always that void that we can't fill, and that's Connor.
You know, everyone says it'll never happen to me. I have always wondered how parents got through what is a parent's worst nightmare, and now I'm living it.
Since the crash, my mom's really become like a role model for me.
I have learned a lot in these past few years, and there's a lot of things that I don't do anymore, such as answering my phone. I don't put my makeup on in the car anymore.
It shouldn't take the loss of someone that you care about to change your driving habits, to not drive distracted, or to find your voice and speak up when one of your friends has the music too loud, or is texting while driving, or holding something in their hand and driving with their knees. It shouldn't take that. You don't want it to take the loss of a best friend or a brother.
If you don't feel safe getting in the car with someone, let me tell you from experience that your parents would much rather come and pick you up at whatever hour in the morning it is, no matter the situation, and have you home than anything happen to you because you were scared. Your safety is really all that matters, and if you don't feel that you're going to get from point A to point B safely, then don't get in the car.
I choose to share Connor's story because no one else should have to live the life that we live, because it was a crash that was 100% preventable.